Hey guys, it's Don here from the board. Thank you for coming along and checking out another one of our videos. So today I'm doing a very quick video, I hope, which is basically mail day. It's been a while since I've had a mail day, and I think today was a little bit different because it wasn't so much as a mail day as a pickup day. Now, I realize that this is probably going to be released a little bit later, but today was the actual Sydney meetup, number 2 for the year, and I had ordered a whole bunch of stuff before on Taobao, which finally got into my hands. So I thought I'd go through and show all the things that I'd picked up today at the meet that I'd ordered, which had been a couple of weeks coming. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail and review the kind of stuff in there or build them or anything like that in this video. It's really just a gloss over what I'd picked up and to say that I will be doing further videos on some of those components because not necessarily all of them will warrant an actual video. So let's get right into it. And to start off with, we're just going to have a quick look at the small things, what you can pick up relatively cheaply out there, which is diodes. So I've picked up 2 packets, 500 diodes each, so a total of 1,000 diodes, which means I can make, 10 full-size keyboards or about 12, 13 sort of TKLs, and of course the smaller the keyboard, the more that you can make. So these were very, very cheap, ridiculously cheap at 500 each. 500 count in each packet, so that's 2 right there. What else did I pick up? I picked up some sculpting tools. So these are just a silicone tip. I felt that I wanted to have a bit more flexibility in regards to sculpting for future works. So that was really cheap. That was only a couple of dollars there. And then I got some ball tools. Now these have, if that will focus on it, probably not so great in the packet. It's nice that they sort of double packed it, but probably a little bit unnecessary. They have different size tips on these. So you can see that there's some very fine ball points there, and then there's some larger round ball points, and a couple of more different sizes on that side as well. And I figured getting this would help add to my collection of tools to be able to shape different sort of curvatures and textures and so on and so forth. So I will hopefully be using those in future sculpting works. Stick that over there. Now, the next thing that I got was actually one of these. It's a keycap tray. This is a full-size keycap tray. It's pretty cheap. It only costs a couple of dollars. It was like $3 or $4, something like that. Super cheap, very useful if you want to display your sets or store your sets. I actually got 5 of these because of all the grab bags that I have. It means I can actually sort and lay out my grab bag keys. So I will go into a little bit more depth in opening one of these and showing off what is in there and seeing how well it works. So that was pretty cool. Now we start moving on to a couple more items which is a little bit more interesting, and the first of those is actually a 60% kit. Now this kit on the Australian Discord is actually called the HIV 60. Now we're not talking about the disease, the virus, HIV, but we're actually talking because one of the community, Harold, the 4th, is actually the person who came up looking through Taobao and finding the listings for all the parts to create the cheapest 60% keyboard based on individual Taobao listings. So we've got switches, we've got the USB cable, we've got stabilizers, we've got the case, plate, and a PCB. And all of this comes together to be, I think, about 55 Australian, which is really cheap, plus shipping, if you went for the base options. Now, I talked about this in my podcast, weeks and weeks ago, but they actually ran out of stock for the cheapest PCB option, so I did pay a couple of extra dollars to get the RGB version, which, it's not that big a deal. And I think I also paid a little bit more for this plate, the stainless steel plate, instead of the alu plate, unless if this is alu. No, I think this is alu plate. So maybe I didn't pay that much more for it. In any case, it is a very cheap build, and I plan on building this with some Gator greens, and I'm probably going to build it and give it away. So make sure you check that out. we'll see how that works. I've never built an RGB keyboard before, so that's what that's going to turn out like. Then the next thing that I'm going to do, well, not going to do, but the next thing I'm going to show you here is a 96 key kit as well from Taobao. So there's the stabilizers, the standoff screws. There is the acrylic plate, which is in here. And it's a bent steel top type of construction. So that's the actual rolled steel plate, and then the PCB is right there. So it's an open kind of design, but it was also very, very cheap, being of course from Taobao. There's nothing terribly fancy about it. It does have underglow on it, and the acrylic plate is meant to act as both protection for the PCB and the diffuser. So I'll be building that at some point as well. So lining up plenty of things to keep on rolling with, as long as I've actually got the time to be able to build it. And that's really the biggest challenge for me right now, especially with my daughter, as you may have seen in previous videos. And of course, the final item, which I've also talked about here, is I will be doing a review at some point on the Taobao VEA clone. So those who were actually at the meetup today got to see it, because I did unpack it there, and I'm just going to sort of quickly unwrap one half of it. I managed to get this with the Gatoron Reds pre-built in it. It's pretty solid, looks nice, and the cable plugs and fits. So obviously there's the other half in here as well. And of course it actually came with the cable. So I will be doing a review and sort of a run through with this VEA clone. So that pretty much wraps up everything that I picked up from Tom, who organized the group buy. Thank you very much for arranging all of that and going through Super Buy and dealing with everybody and the finances and getting it shipped and being able to bring it to the meetup for me. Really appreciate it. And yeah, look forward to being able to do a few more videos on all of this stuff into the future to show you what you can get, the quality maybe, and any of the issues that you might encounter when dealing with this kind of stuff coming from Taobao. Now, of course, it does mean that I've pretty much tapped a large chunk of my budget for keyboards for a while now, because I've essentially got a whole new keyboard right here with the VEA, and I've got 2 kits down there. So I don't know if I'll be getting anything else anytime soon. We'll just have to see what my wife lets me get away with. So there you go. Thank you very much, of course, for coming along, checking out the video as usual. And yeah, pretty nice. Thanks. And of course, until next time, happy clacking.